When you have feelings in your physical body, which I talk about in my first book, The Emotion Behind Money, and I have a workbook that goes along with it, it's about building wealth from the inside out. Okay, why would that matter? Well, it matters because of the fact that when we have emotions, those emotions are what they call unfulfilled needs. What's going on, everybody? Julie Murphy here. And after 25 years of being a financial planner, running my company, I've learned a couple things about financial freedom. And you know what? Can you do me a favor? Can you hit that subscribe button, like, and that notification bell? Because why? I'm going to help you get to a life that you absolutely love because it's the patterning that you have never considered when you've approached your finances. So let's talk about this. I know I've done other videos on debt, and this week I am continuing to see the illustration from people on my social media channels or clients in my office that all debt represents, everybody, is a lack of your personal freedom. Can you do me a favor? Can you just take a deep breath in and be like, how do you feel about your debt? That's what I want you to get in tune with today. How do you feel about your debt? Okay, if you'll play with me, I want to get these feelings about your debt up and out of your body. Why? Because when you have feelings in your physical body, which I talk about in my first book, The Emotion Behind Money, and I have a workbook that goes along with it, it's about building wealth from the inside out. Okay, why would that matter? Well, it matters because of the fact that when we have emotions, those emotions are what they call unfulfilled needs. And we can see that with children. So like when my kids were little, because I study this stuff, I would be like, they're crying. And people would laugh at me being like, Jewel, it's just a baby crying. I'm like, no, it's actually, they have an unmet need. So the question is what's their need? We know when they're babies, we know that it's like, oh, you got to change your diaper. Oh, they're hungry. Oh, they have a tummy ache, whatever, right? There's the normal checklist. But as we grow older, it's a little bit more esoteric to figure out, like, you didn't necessarily poop in your pants and you didn't necessarily need a bottle fed to you. But it's some unmet need. So if you'll play with me right now, I want you to trust me to try to get some of these emotions about the financial debt that you've created in your life. So how we get to feel your feelings about your money is that, or how you feel about your money and the debt that you have, is I want you to say the words, I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. I want you to continue to say that to yourself. I am safe. I am safe. Share with me in the comments that as you're trying to provoke this lack of safety. So what you're doing here is you're saying the words, I am safe. But there's a part of you inside, because you have an emotional unmet need, that is actually not safe. So when you say, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe, what you're actually doing is you're actually activating the unsafe parts of yourself to come up and out. So if you could do me a favor, I want you to type in the comments here, because I want to engage you into this video, because I want you to bring those up and out. So keep those eyes closed. Breathe. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. And type into the comment section, what are the feelings that are coming up? I want you to type in the comment section, where do you actually feel it in your body? Where do you physiologically feel that in your body? Because This is where you have things energetically stuck. These feelings about your money, I always talk about that we have our financial past, we have our money in the present moment, and then we have our financial future. And our financial past is our debts. When our debts, whether that's a mortgage debt, a car debt, student loan debt, debt to family and friends, corporate debt because you run your own company, mortgage debt, I don't care if it's 401k debt, a life insurance loan money that you took out, it's a heavy load. How do you feel about that debt? How's it feeling to you? Tell me, how do you feel about your debt? Can you type that into the comments below? How do you feel about your debt? And the reason I say that, now I'm pausing because I want to give you a moment to actually type that in, because part of this whole process is that we have to get you to go through these feelings. And the only way we get you through these feelings is by feeling the feelings and shining the light on them. And you'll watch some of my other videos. And I talk about this in both of my books, Awaken Your Wealth, and The Emotion Behind Money. And I have a third one coming out I'm super excited about. It'll be out soon. The only way to the other side is through. So you have to feel the feelings that you were avoiding that created the debt in the first place. Because, and this can also be true about your paycheck comes into your checking account and then you have a spending hangover. You create and generate all that spending because you're trying to emotionally not feel those feelings. That's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to distract yourself and put them somewhere else. So what I've found with people over time is that, and it was reinforced this past few weeks, I had people telling me that, Jewel, now that I'm out of that marriage, now that I no longer work with that employer, my spending, because I was so unhappy in that marriage and I was so unhappy in that job, and you can pick whatever it is in your life that you can apply this to, that I was actually creating the debt and creating the spending hangover because of the unhappiness in the job or the relationship or whatever it is for you, right? So we have to get to feeling those feelings, because that's the only thing that's not going to cause it to create all over again. Years ago, I noticed this. I helped someone. They had the opportunity. They got an inheritance, and they were able to pay off all their debts. And it's kind of like winning the lottery, right? And they paid off all the debts, and it was within just a couple years that all the debts were almost right back up to the same levels. Why? Because they didn't learn how to actually feel their feelings in the moment of what was going on in their life, and it just created the debt all over again. And so we need to build this muscle as a culture, as a global culture, because unfortunately, it's gone systemic all around the world, that we are using these debt instruments, and then we have a lack of freedom in our lives because we've given our power over to the banks, to the governments, to our employers. And it has nothing to do with the government. It has nothing to do with your employer, and it has nothing to do with the banks. It has everything to do with, it's time for you to get into your personal power. It's time for you to actually step into this part of yourself that's no longer being distracted by your emotions. So the only way we get through this is to actually feel those feelings. I don't want to come to you from this financial, intellectual reason, because everyone in my industry will logically tell you to go ahead and do the logical financial steps, pay off the highest interest rate first, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm meeting you then in your left brain logical process in money, as opposed to feeling the feelings that's created the debt in the first place. Whether it's I'm not worthy, I don't feel loved, or I'm not enough. And the work I've done with Panache Desai, and he has a book, he has helped me a ton in terms of really recognizing that I always knew people had these emotions behind money, but it's really underlying these three concepts. I don't feel loved, I don't feel worthy, and I am not enough. So it's about wherever you're triggering, there is a need that is not being met. But what I want to tell you is that the only way that that need is going to be met is by you. It is not going to be met from your employer, your spouse, your kids, the government. You can get all the stimulus checks in the world that you want to, or PPP loans here in the United States to get you through a pandemic. But the question is why did you need the PP loan in this first place if you're a business owner? Maybe your business was supposed to go out of business because it wasn't where your heart and soul was, but it was just what you knew. Like, why are we so afraid to step into the unknown and to step into the place that more aligns with who we are today? Super, super important. So I would challenge each and every one of you today to really take a step back and poke the bear. Do you know what I mean by that? By poking the bear? Poking the bear means being willing to just sit there. Go sit in a chair in the corner or in your room or something like that, a quiet space, and close your eyes and just say, take those 3 deep breaths in like I started with, and just start saying, I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. And write down those emotions. Put them in the comments here. Come back to the community. Come back to juliemurphy.com. Let's support each other. Join my Facebook page, Awaken with Julie, or my Instagram, Awaken with Julie. Let's support each other and create a safe container for all of us to thrive and for all of us to be abundant and for all of us to just get out of these suffering patterns that have created the financial worlds that we have. You may be somebody that's a trust fund baby and you have tons of money. But are you really in control of your life, or is that money and how you're going to get it or not get it from the trust fund going to control you? Everybody, I talk about that people are in what I call the poor, the debtors, the dreamers, accumulators, rich but empty. Everyone who's not rich or wealthy, always, financially speaking, always feels like, oh, well, once I get the money and I get out of debt, and when I hit this point, then all of a sudden it's all going to work out. I'm telling you, it's not going to, because it's the wrong driver. You're trying to get there on the wrong fuel source. You have to get there not from a place of your trauma or your rejection from when you were little in the subconscious mind. I have lots of videos about that. It's about actually getting in tune with your heart and your soul. And that building your wealth from the inside out is making sure that all of those decisions and how you choose to create your life is coming through your heart. Because when you release the emotions that are keeping the debt structures that you have in place or recreating them, when you release those emotions and we shine the light. So please, part of shining the light is claim them right here on my comments. I want you to claim them right here in my comments going, I feel this about money, blah, 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 blah. Use it as your journal. Use it as your tool to get it out of your body. You deserve that. I don't care if you're dumping the biggest garbage in my comments, but it's getting it out of your body. If that's what gets you clear and it shines the light and it processes those emotions and you're pissed off and you're angry and you're sad and you're typing it in, or you feel like you're like a loser and you don't deserve money anymore, or you're petrified of money. I've heard all the adjectives Tell me, put it down in those comments. I want you to claim it going, I have felt petrified. I'm scared. Put it in the comments, please. Get it in there because we got to get it out of your body so that you can actually start to thrive and get on the launch pad that you're meant to be on because you deserve it. This is why we have to address our debt. Is it about numbers and dollars and cents? Part of it. But I'm telling you, you're going to keep recreating it if we don't do this other piece, because that is then going to be built on a really, really strong foundation. Thanks for listening. Please do me a favor. Can you hit that subscribe button, and please share this because there are so many people around the world that need to start living exactly the life that they were meant to live. And let's help them do it. All right. Thanks, everybody. And don't forget that I'll put the link right here. If you go to awakenyourwealthbook.com, I will give away my book for free. You just have to pay for your shipping. And if you want an individual appointment, right here, you can go to info@jmcwealth.com and we'll get you rocking and rolling. And someone, myself or on my team, can help you get to that next place that you absolutely love in your life. So thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you listening, and we'll see you soon.